Join us now for Patriot Focus, a twice-a-month broadcast featuring academic and athletic events happening at Sullivan East High School. Our show is sponsored by Continental Alarm Systems and by State Representative Timothy Hill. Now let's start Patriot Focus with our hosts, Sullivan East Principal Andy Hare and the voice of the Patriots, Mike Cox.
It's the fall semester finale already of the first year of Patriot Focus. Here on 790 The Fan, it's great to have you with us today. And we just finished our first basketball game of the season. We're going to be back with basketball as the Patriots play Elizabeth on January the 9th. So keep that on your calendar as we get into the new year. And we're going to have basketball games, lots of them, between January the 9th and the end of February. It's going to be pretty much every Tuesday and Friday, weather permitting. Keep it tuned here to 790 The Fan. We'll keep you updated on all of those things as Patriot basketball is underway. If your business would like to sponsor either Patriot basketball or Patriot Focus, give us a call here at our studios, 423-878-6279. And with that 1 minute preamble over, I welcome in the principal at East High School, Andy Hare. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Good evening, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's been one of those days where it's been a lot of talking and not a lot of doing.
I understand. But you have to have those days. We were talking with our team at East. We had 1 4-hour meeting in which we could all four, me and my 3 assistants, get together to plan the 25-26 school year. 4 hours. Mm-hmm. It's all we got to do because everything else we do, we jump right into it. So you're building the boat while you're in the water so many times.
Yeah.
So we were able to get away, and we go to the ICC and have our own little retreat. We make the most for every minute we have.
Yeah.
And we've done that this week and last week. That's how we have to do every day.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we've been doing here at the radio station. We're trying to get set up college basketball action. A little hint of something that's yet to come, a very important football game to this state, the basketball equivalent. We are going to be airing. So just keep that in mind as we go into college basketball. Our friends at Compass have a beautiful college basketball schedule ready to go. We've got App State coming up, too. As a matter of fact, they're coming up tonight. They're going to play Coastal Carolina at 6:30 after we're done. We've got a lot to do in 30 minutes.
We'll get it done, too.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just like Smokey and the Bandit. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. We're going to do what they said can't be done.
Yep, and we're going to rein in Andy Hare to just 30 minutes in conversations with 2 people, and we're going to do a wrap-up at the end, just me and Andy talking about the crazy things that have happened surrounding recording this show during this semester. And that's going to be good stuff.
I can't believe that. I swear we just started, and that was in August.
Mm-hmm. This is show number 11 of Patriot Focus.
Gosh.
We started in August doing like 4 or 5 minute segments at a time. Then we changed it over to the Fan, so we had to have longer segments to do an hour. And now we're, thanks to the Braves, we're down to a half an hour, but it's every single week. I think it's going to work better going into 2026. We know every Thursday there's going to be a Patriot Focus. So.
I'm happy with it. It's beautiful.
Yep, it's good stuff. And we're going to talk about things that aren't necessarily on a field or a court or in a gym or a swimming pool or stuff like that. And we've got some of that stuff coming up today, too.
Absolutely. We sure do. And we're looking forward to the conversations we're going to have with 2 awesome folks who have really made a huge impact at Sullivan East High School. I hope everybody's as excited as I am because they're going to love it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good Patriot Focus show as we are talking about Patriot Focus being a weekly show. However, since it's on Thursday, all the holidays are on Thursdays this year. So this is the last Patriot Focus of 2025. We're going to take Christmas off. We're going to take New Year's off. We'll be back on January the 8th for our next edition of Patriot Focus. And I'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. When do they go back to school after Christmas?
January 6th.
Okay, so it'll be just after. It'll be in the middle of the first week. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Andy in here, so we're going to be prime Andy at that point.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
That's going to be a lot of fun coming up in January.
Yes.
So we have the rest of this show yet to come, so we hope you'll stay tuned. Lots of great interviews on the way here on Patriot Focus on 790 The Fan. We're back here on Patriot Focus, here on 790 The Fan. Great to have you with us today as we talk about all things Sullivan East High School, and of course that involves teaching. And Andy Hare knows a little bit of something about that. And he's got a special guest with us that'll tell us more. Then they're going to talk about that for a little while. So Go at it, Andy.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. I'm with Mr. Hunter Hines. Hunter, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So you teach what at East?
I teach media art, which is essentially graphic design and live music.
That's the subject you teach, but what you really teach are kids.
Yeah, I teach kids soft skills and how to be a decent human being as best as I can.
How do you utilize your subject to reach a child?
I've always been very passionate about the arts. I've been playing in bands my entire life, and I've been making music and artwork since before I could speak. So that's my first language.
Yeah.
And I make my love of psychology and philosophy my students' problem. And so I try to reach them as a human first, because if you don't make that connection and you build rapport in a relationship with them, how are you ever going to get them to respect you, let alone do work that they don't see themselves capable of doing for you?
Do you find that difficult to break down those walls, those barriers to reach those students?
It depends on a lot of different things. I mean, there are certainly students who have greater walls to cross than others, and a lot of times that comes from either bad experiences with teachers, bad experiences with men, or bad experiences within the arts. I've had a lot of different students tell me that they had stopped taking art classes because they were told by either a parent, a peer, or a teacher that they were no good at it and there was no point.
Yeah. And you find something that they're good at and help them expose that to them, the greatness that's within them.
That's what I try to do. I think that the avenue that I try to go about it with is, I always bring up this example with my students because I always hear this sort of, like, I guess, sentence starter type of statement from them where it's like, well, I can't even draw a stick man. And I'm like, okay, so if you were a musician who played guitar and I asked if you played bassoon and you said no, would I have any right to be like, well, I thought you were a musician? You know, because drawing is not the only avenue that we can express our creativity. Creativity is a language, as well as music and as well as actual linguistics. And so everybody has some sort of way of expressing themselves, whether it be in dance, whether it be in even the way that they dress themselves, their aesthetic sensibilities. And so I'll just ask them, did you dress yourself? Do you have things that you like? Do you buy with your eyes? And so they obviously have ways that they express themselves, but I try to do what I think a good therapist does, which is not to try to impose any sort of thought and place that in their head so much as to help them recognize things they're already saying and point them out to them.
Yes.
So it's more about perspective than it is about anything else.
So you're trying to show them their perspective of things, not impose your perspective on things.
Exactly.
That's a delicate balance, and you do it better than anybody I've ever seen.
Thank you. I think that if my students were to say anything about me other than I'm very goofy in my classes, which is not how I am by nature, I try to make myself vulnerable.
Right.
And I think that if my kids said anything other than me being goofy or whatever, they might say that I'm human. At the end of the day, that's what I want. I want my students to see me for everything that I actually am, which is not just my degrees, it's not just my experiences, it's my flaws, it's my shortcomings, and it's the struggles. But what I want them to recognize is that struggle does not make a victim. Right. Struggle is the crucible that forges the metals into something stronger.
Amen, brother. That's the truth. It's so easy to do in this world today. It's designed to let you lay down and let you be that victim and have that victim mindset and not be accountable. And that's not what you're saying to them.
No, because, as somebody who has previously worn victimhood as a crutch, it only takes you so far in the same way that, I remember whenever I was in high school, like all the girls like the mysterious guy or whatever, like the swoopy hair, like, oh, what's he thinking? He probably understands Donnie Darko or something. But, what they didn't recognize is that there's nothing behind the mystery. That it's just like, oh, crap, like if I seem like I'm artsy or intellectual, maybe they won't try to look deeper and realize that I'm just as terrified and afraid and passionless as everyone else. And I'm just trying to put up a facade or a persona in the same way that we do with social media. You're not going to see anybody say, like, have a profile picture that says, son, I'm crying or something. It's always going to be their best face forward.
It's the greatest day of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the ways you've done that, it's kind of organically grown, is through the live music program.
That's right.
Talk to me about that.
We had a choir teacher named Kim Lundeen. She had a bluegrass program.
That's right.
And during my planning period, she asked me to come help because some of the students were more interested in doing something a little bit rockier, and I have been playing in punk, hardcore, and metal bands since I was too young to drive and had to get driven to venues. So I said, sure, I would come in and help, and I fell in love with it. It was a super easy spot for me to fall into because I was basically teaching them the things that I wish that I had been taught whenever I was making music and making bands with my friends in high school and in college. One thing that I noticed that happened after COVID is that people didn't know where to go to see music anymore. And that was also a big issue because I know that whenever I was at Science Hill, if I wasn't going to the skate park, my friends and I would go downtown. There were a couple different venues where there were always bands playing that were local, and some of them, especially as we got older, were peers and classmates of ours. And so there was an entire scene for all different kinds of music. We've always had a huge history of music around here, but these kids were so hungry for an outlet to express themselves. And unfortunately, I think that most of them had the mentality about music that I had whenever I had my one piano lesson at 10 years old, which is that music is written by dead white people that are long since dead, and all you can do to learn how to play music is play chopsticks or play Bach. And I had never been told that there are no wrong choices in music and that you can paint with air. Creating a sonic sculpture that exists for a finite amount of time and space that you can repeat as often as you want. And it affects people more than any visual media does somehow.
Yes, it does. And it helps with their brain development. It's going to help with their academics.
Oh, absolutely.
It's remarkable to see that positive impact, and I've got to see it firsthand. I love seeing these children who I know otherwise would not have that to hold on to. You've given them their voice. You've given them their purpose, and I appreciate you for that. You're a gift to Sullivan East and a blessing to us all. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
We'll be back with more Patriot Focus right after this on 790 The Fan. Back here on Patriot Focus on 790 The Fan. Great to have you with us today. One of the Patriot coaches is in here, and I've got to say Cornelius did a great job. It's Cornelius Barber that's with us. He did a great job doing the PA Tuesday night for the East and Unicoi County game, which we had here on 790 The Fan. You probably heard a lot of him in the background behind me and Jacob. That's going to be a fun interview, Andy, so go ahead.
Mike, thank you so much. Coach, I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you had me. I'm excited, actually.
People that may have heard you on the PA, this is just who we get every day.
Yeah, that's just me. I'm a loud energy guy. I'm a guy that likes to just bring fun and bring joy and just really show that it's okay to kind of, just be yourself and really just be like, all right, this is who he is.
That's right. And if you call East High School at 423-354-1900,
Sir,
Cornelius is going to answer the phone.
Absolutely, with a smile on my face every time.
You are a coach at East. You also work in the front office.
Absolutely.
You help our extracurriculars with all the PA, and you do a lot of great things to help our students.
Thank you.
What has that been like? You're a young man. You're very relatable to the students. What type of challenges or blessings has that been?
It's been both challenging and blessings at the same time. At first, I'm not going to lie, I was nervous when the first time he asked me to do like an assembly, and I was like, how can I make this fun for the kids? Because that's what the assembly's supposed to be, the pep rally. Just get the kids really riled up, get them excited for something else. And it's like, okay, how can I do that? And I'm pacing, I'm sweating, and I don't show it because I try to keep everything, inside. I won't show it, but man, I was a wreck, honestly.
You would never have known it.
No. I try to make sure I put on a strong face, but it's been amazing, honestly. Just being able to do everything that I have. Because at first when I got here, I felt new. I kind of felt like, all right, so here's where I'm at. Let's figure out how to get, in somewhere, and let's just go from there. And then when I got here, I was like, oh, I'm here. Let's make this the best I can make it,
That's right. And you know what I love about it, and it's a message we try to send all the people involved at our school. You know what to do. Just jump in and do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You immersed yourself in the place, and I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the big things I've always, tried to grow up is my dad kind of taught me from an early age, if you want something, son, you better go get it. I've took that with me everywhere I go. And I asked Coach Simmons for a job, and he gave me a shot, and I've just tried to take it and run with it since then, just not looking back.
You're not from Bluff City.
No, I'm from Fort Mill, South Carolina, which is, if you know where Charlotte, North Carolina is, I'm just 20 minutes just the other side of the border of it.
And so you ended up here how?
I went to Emory Henry College with Ben Botts. He's an alumni from East, and he was coaching there. And he called me when I was at work in South Carolina. He was like, hey, buddy, I think this place could use you. He said, these kids need someone they can relate to. These kids, I think they would love you. And I was like, buddy, I have no coaching experience. I played football before, but I don't really know how to, coach a kid to do it. And he was like, just give it a shot. So I came up right before the Emory-Henry graduation in May, and I went to a spring practice, and I kind of just started getting familiarized with the players and talking to some of the kids. And from that point on, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want a way to change lives in my own way. I might not be the best talker or, the best whatever, but if I can change a life, that makes me happy. I've done my job.
Well, that's evident in how you carry yourself, and I appreciate that. And we're a beneficiary of that. You mentioned your college roommate, Ben Botts, East grad.
That's my guy.
Yeah, and he was your roommate there.
Yeah.
At Emory and Henry. Why did you go there? What was the reason?
I was getting recruited for football there.
There you go, football.
I was getting recruited for football there, and the coaches did something that none of the other coaches that I went and talked to. They all wrote me handwritten letters, and it made it really personable. That's what it's all about. And they all talked to me on my visit there, and I was like, okay, this is far from home. I was never before I went to Emory and Henry in Virginia. I've never been out of the state of South Carolina. I was
really.
Yeah, I was in there. I was landlocked, so I was like, okay, this is a chance for me to expand my horizons, to grow, and just to see something different. And I saw the mountains, and God, did I fall in love with it.
There you go.
I mean, it's just beautiful. Every morning I wake up, I just thank God that I'm living right here. I can see that. It's just a great scene.
Well, we thank God for you, too. And you went to Emory and Henry, and I know they thanked God for you because you did a great job for you. You were a beast out there. The defensive end?
Yes, sir. I played defensive end and a little bit of linebacker when I was in a 3-3 package there.
And the quarterbacks didn't like seeing him coming because he took care of business.
Until the running back saw me, and I got chop blocked on one of my last plays playing there. And I'll never forgive that running back for costing me a sack. But it was all love. It was all love.
Yeah, well, you were in the arena, man. You did it. And one thing that's important to note here, not only you, but Mr. Hines and all the other guests here have one thing in common when you talk about why you're doing what you're doing. It is your desire to help the next generation.
Absolutely.
And you talk about the things that were done for you that made your life better and helped you in your path, which were people that took the time to make things personal.
Yes.
And that's who we want working with our students who are working in our community, having that personal connection.
Yeah.
How have the students responded to you? Or were they what you thought they were going to be like?
I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into. I really didn't. I'll be upfront with you. I did not know what I was getting myself into. But, I mean, the kids have just welcomed me with open arms like everybody else has there. And it's just been great to get to know all of them. And if I can see a kid walk in the doors, I'll buzz them in. I'll let them in the door, and I'll say their first and last name. I don't know why I do that. And they're like, really, my first and last? I'm like, yeah. I'll say hey to you. And they've grown to say my full name, and I don't mind it. To me, it's playful banter. I don't think of it as anything else than that. And I just feel like, okay, this is how I know, like, me and you, we have a relationship. We have a connection. I can understand you. You can understand me. And let's grow from there. Let's figure out, okay, how can I help this person in any way, shape, or form? Even if it's just to talk to them about a class or talk to them about some TV show or just anything, really. It's just the kids, they've been everything that I could hope for, and just trying to mentor them as mentees, I guess, if you want to call them. They've been everything. I
appreciate it, Coach. You've just been a true godsend for us, and I thank you and look forward to many, many great years of working together.
Absolutely. This is my home away from home, as I like to call it. I love going back home to South Carolina, but there's something about this mountain area you just can't get down there.
That's right. Well, forever you're going to be an East Patriot.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You're listening to Patriot Focus here on 790 The Fan. Coming up after the show, we're going to have App State basketball. Mountaineers playing Coastal Carolina from South Carolina down in Conway. And that's going to be coming up tonight right after the show at 6:30 here on 790 The Fan. One more segment of Patriot Focus to go before we get to that game. We'll have it next, so stay tuned. Back here for the final segment of Patriot Focus in the 2025 part of the school year. Next week is Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody, from all of us here at 790 The Fan and from everybody at East High School, too. This last segment I have specifically left for me and Mr. Andy Hare to discuss one specific background thing that has happened since we started recording this show. This is show number 11 of Patriot Focus. In specifically 3 of those shows, we have had major news events or sports events happen in 3 of these shows. One of them that has completely changed a lot of things, the 3rd show, September 10th, is when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And at the time, I had no clue who he was. And, Andy, you're over there with your phone oh, Charlie Kirk passed away when he got shot. And I'm like, who's Charlie Kirk? And 30 seconds later, I knew exactly who he was.
Yeah.
And now his organization, I read somewhere today, they're recruiting into Tennessee, trying to get more chapters, which is very interesting. But that opened my eyes to a lot of things, and that's because you knew who he was, because you deal with the youth, and that's what he was trying to angle toward.
Yeah, that was his goal.
And that's still the organization's goal to this day. We talked about Cornelius being one of those folks that kind of is better toward younger people because he is younger. I think Charlie had that.
Yeah, he was a young man. Yeah.
And Erica's going to have that. I have so much respect for that woman. It is unbelievable. But we've operated like that, too, in a way with Jacob, because Jacob is not long out of college.
Yeah. And
we've had him, he goes and talks to players like, they're good buddies. I'm in my mid-40s, so, I'm old to all of them. But Jacob's there. He has filled that role for us for a while now, and I'm so thankful to have him. Basketball season is so much better with Jacob around.
Yeah. It was good seeing you all together.
It's interesting how all of the stuff that has happened during the recording of this show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The Charlie Kirk thing, which kind of ties back into Jacob, which so thankful to have him for basketball. But we've had coaches with injuries in the hospital texting us during one show.
Yeah.
And we've had national news from a major college. This was last week.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's fired and then arrested.
Terrible.
It's interesting how all of that works when we're sitting here. This hasn't been a live show. It hasn't been. We recorded it previous, and I do editing and all that stuff to make it all time out. And it's amazing to be able to do. These past 11 shows have opened my eyes to so much stuff that happens in schools that I didn't have a clue about before. And it's not necessarily even some of the stuff we've talked about that's been on the air.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've turned the microphone off and we've had conversations with our guests for 15, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just
It gets pretty deep. It gets pretty detailed. Yeah.
And
it gets real. It gets very real. And there's not enough time to go over it all. But, yeah, this job is real. This community is real. This school is real. It's something I'm very proud of, very thankful for. It's just the beginning of the great things that are coming. Because it's always been there. It's always been there. People are just now seeing it. And I'm thankful for that.
Starting to tap into it with some of the new things that are going on. The audio-video department that's coming, I'm real interested in that because, that's been my career since I was at that school at East, you know.
There's a broadcasting component to that as well in the curriculum. So we're excited about that. We're excited about all the great things our kids do. And they do amazing things.
Yeah.
Oh, my stars. If you don't realize it, then you need to get out and see it. You know what? It may not register in a huge score or a huge victory or whatever else, but, man, you know what I love about Sullivan East High School? Our community, the Patriot Nation, we're more than just a score.
Yep.
We're so much more than that. We are real, and we're going to teach people to be amazing citizens of this great country. That's what we're doing. Do we make mistakes? Sure. Do we fail? We do sometimes. But we learn each time, we grow, and we get better to where that the future is so bright for each one of these students.
Yeah.
Be proud of where you're from. Be proud to associate and tie yourself to Sullivan East High School. The world's asking for the best. That's what they're going to get, a Sullivan East Patriot.
And it's even included, not even just around the country, but around the world with all of our great foreign exchange students we've had in here this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think is really special. We're not just at 4180 Weaver Pike. We're around the globe now.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of who we are, being part of it. It's not me. I'm just a small part of it. But I get to be part of it. That's what's exciting.
So as we wrap up, we're about to go into Christmas. First semester is over, so it's basically almost like starting a new year coming up in January. What do you got coming up winter and spring of 2026 that we need to look forward to?
We're going to be doing a New Year's Eve bash at the Impact Center on New Year's Eve. we'll come back to school and we'll jump right into second semester. Like I said, it's just starting over. You're at the mercy of Mother Nature during that time.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to still move forward with all kinds of fun things. Of course, the winter sports will be in mid-season form by that time.
Yeah, conference play.
We have our winter formal, which is a beautiful event. Tickets were on sale all week for that. We'll have our Fine Arts Festival this spring. We'll have our Kindergarten Day, the CTE Kindergarten Days, which is one of the greatest days of the year. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. We have 56 events that happen at East High School for our elementary, middle school, and community, not counting athletics.
Yeah.
We want to be the hub of the wheel. We want people to come there. We want them to know about it from the time they start walking, that Sullivan East, the Patriot Nation, is their home.
That's exactly right. And all of the stuff that's not necessarily athletics, that's what this show is supposed to be about. We begin again January the 8th.
It'll be here before we know it.
With our next edition of Patriot Focus. We're going to take the holidays off, and we'll come back January the 8th. Every week from there to May, we're going to have a Patriot Focus in the winter and spring, weather permitting, obviously. I can't wait. So
Me either.
That's going to do it for this edition of Patriot Focus. Andy, I haven't let you give the tagline on Focus in forever.
Well, that's okay. Listen, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Mike. I appreciate you. You're a true godsend. You're a blessing. You're an inspiration to all of us in the Patriot Nation. Thank you for being our voice. Thank you to 790 The Fan for taking a chance on us. Thank you to the community for giving me the opportunity to get to do what I do. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And it's because of them that I get to say I can't hide my Patriot pride.
Coming up next, we're going to have tip-off between App State and Coastal Carolina. We're going to take you straight to that. Coming up next here on 790 The Fan. Next Patriot Focus, January the 8th. Next Patriot basketball game will be the next day, January the 9th, as the Patriots played Elizabethton on 790 The Fan. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening to Patriot Focus on 790 The Fan. Twice a month, we bring you all the academic happenings at Sullivan East High School, focusing on upcoming events on campus and off, also including the Patriot sports teams and events. Today's broadcast has been sponsored by State Representative Timothy Hill and by Continental Alarm Systems of Bluff City. We now return to regular programming on 790 The Fan, WETB, Johnson City.